This video's gonna be mess, and we gonna support it, okay? We gonna support the fact that there's probably gonna be roommate sounds in the background. We're gonna support the fact that I'm gonna be distracted by the fact that I don't look ugly. We're gonna accept the fact that I'm counting like this. We're just gonna accept it, okay? I'm here, I'm queer, I'm a mess. Y'all been here before, probably. If you haven't, hi. Hey, hello. My name is Tate. Today, we're talking about some good-ass books. Specifically, the Holy Trinity of queer feminist horror. This is a very specific title. I bet you no one else has made this title. If they have, I want to fucking watch it. Oh god, this video is gonna be such a mess. I have not planned this well enough. Like, I have a bunch of notes written down, but it's all just mess. Which is like kind of on brand. We gotta stay on brand. Basically, I'm talking about 3 books, obviously, because this is a trilogy. A trinity, not trilogy. A trinity of books that are queer, that are feminist, and that are horror. And I feel like they're very similar books, not in the way that it like seems like they're ripping each other off, but just in the way that like if you like one, you'll like the other. So this is sort of like a recommendation. Like if you like this book, you like this book, but it's also just like me screaming about 3 books I love and then begging you to read them. Yeah? Yeah. Let's get into it. The first book is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. This book takes place on this island called Sawkill Rock, where for the last 2 decades, a lot of young girls have been going missing and killed. And there's this urban legend that it is this monster called the Collector who's luring them in and then eating them. So that's fun. And this book follows 3 main characters who have to band together to fight the monster. There's Val, Marion, and Zoe. Val is kind of like the queen bee, part of like the most popular family in town, but she's hiding a lot of secrets. Marion, who just moved here and is dealing with a lot of grief from some family members she has lost. And then Zoe, who is dealing with some grief of the best friend she lost of her own, and also some like personal grief with some relationship stuff, and who does not trust Val because she thinks that Val is involved in all of the stuff, but they have to band together to fight against this monster. Cool. Just like quickly to say the rating, I gave the book 4 stars. There was just like a couple things that stopped it from being a 5-star, just mostly in terms of like plot pacing, I guess, mostly, but like I really enjoyed it. Obviously I wouldn't be talking about it. The second book is The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. Yes, I'm not going to shit about this book. In case you're wondering, there's a town, 4 paths. On top of 4 paths, there's kind of like another town called the Grey. It's kind of like the Upside Down if you've seen Stranger Things. You can fall into it and then get killed by this monster. There are 4 founding families who all have powers to protect the town from this monster. They're the Hawthorns, the Sullivans, the Carlyles, and the Saunders. This follows 4 founder family kids who all have their own issues. We have Justin Hawthorne, Harper Carlyle, Violet Saunders, and Isaac Sullivan as they have to band together and not get killed and protect the town. Basically, I'm trying to be short. I gave this book 5 stars. Yes, cool, there it is. Also, this is off topic, but I just need to like do a tiny little rant with this. It's not about the book itself, but I did a poll on Twitter a little bit ago, seeing if people liked the US versus the UK covers, so like US, UK, okay, and by the end, it was like 50-50, but a lot of people, especially ones who hadn't read the book, claimed that the UK cover was better. And I just have some words about this. Please hear me out. Hear me out. A bunch of people kept saying that the UK cover was prettier. And hear me out. Sprayed edges, very cute. The like contrast of it is nice. Like it has like, I like the fog and stuff like that, but hear me out. That cover does not represent the book well. It does not. As someone who has read the book, who loves the book, who's gonna reread the book soon for a readathon, it doesn't represent the book at all. It looks like the Riverdale logo. The other book, I get that the other book is like a little bit basic, but it's really cute. Like, it's really pretty, and it actually represents the book really well. It has all of the 4 things, like, I'm sorry, but it just represents the book so much better than the UK cover. The UK cover looks like it's like a Riverdale spinoff. And I know some people have tried to compare it to Riverdale, but like, honey, I'm so sorry, a bitch would say something like that. Oh my god. Like, no offense if you like Riverdale. I just really don't. Anyway, we're moving from that. The last book is My Knees The last book is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This takes place on an island where there's this boarding school called Raxter. Side note, the school is like an all-girls boarding school, and this kind of disease thing got out there like a year or two ago before the book starts, called the Tox. But this Tox basically like it kind of changes the girls' bodies. That makes it sound like it's like puberty. It's not puberty. Puberty is not as bad as this. There's a lot of body horror associated with it that basically like the girls, like, I feel like it's just easiest to do examples. Like one of the main characters, their arm turned like silver and has scales. Another girl, she lost her eye to it, like her eye doesn't work and it's like closed shut. Another girl, like some girls have like their hair are glowing, or one girl has a second spine, or one has 2 heartbeats, or one has gills, like all sorts of like weird stuff like that. And they just keep getting these like fevers where Tox just keeps worse and worse and worse until they die. And so they're just quarantined on this island, they're trapped, they're just getting in like shipments of supplies sometimes from like the Navy or something like that, and that's basically it. They're cut off from the world. And this follows our three main characters. We have Hetty, who is just a very lonely, longing girl. She lost her eye to the Tox, and yeah, she just wants to be loved, basically. Then we have Violet, who is Hetty's best friend, and Violet's hard to explain without spoiling anything. Violet has like a second spine, so that's fun. Reese, our third character, she's the one with her arm like turned scaly, and she is the only one who lived on Raxter before the school and before all that happened, because she lived there with her dad, who's now missing. She's kind of like acts closed off and stuff like that, but she still kind of like sticks with Hetty and Violet. These characters are all really hard to describe without giving stuff away. They're trying to like survive and figuring out stuff with the Tox and what it means, and some conspiracies. Stuff like that. Cool. There are all the books. You can already see that some of them are pretty similar, but we're just gonna get into the similarities. So all of them clearly are the horror genre, specifically the YA genre. Number 1. Number 2, queer up. All of them have queer up. Obviously, this is queer feminist horror. In Sock Girl, there is woman love woman, female relationship. I can't remember if any labels were used specifically, but like I know that there were girls who like girls, and I can't remember if any of them were bi or anything like that. I can't remember any specific labels being used. And then there was some asexual rep, which was on page. It was allo-romantic asexual rep, but that was like put on page, talked about, addressed, all of that fun stuff. In the Drawing Gray, we had like 8,000 bi babies. We had bi girls and bi boys. We had some teen queer characters. We also had a couple adult queer characters, which made me really happy. And in Wilder Girls, we had woman love woman again. It never said specifically any labels, and since there are literally no boys in the school, and they don't like really mention any boys from like before the school, I can't really tell if any of them like boys. But I do know that there are girls who like girls, so we love that. Some other stuff, there's definitely a lot of girl power in Wilder Girls. That one is a little more like morally gray girl power than Sawkill Girls. But still, there's also a lot of female friendships in all of these books. Soccer Girls, there's friendships between all of the 3 girls. Some of those friendships develop later than others. Devouring Grey, you have a really good relationship between Violet and Harper, and then you see a little bit with May and Violet, and May and Harper kind of develop as well. And in Wilder Girls, you have some really tight bonds between the girls. Obviously, you have Hetty and Violet and Reese, who are all very close, but you see it like other groups of girls and just kind of like overall female friendships. All of these books involve people who have to come together who didn't know each other before, maybe didn't like each other before, and they have to come together to fight some bad evil, whether that's a physical monster or like humans or both. You know, all of these have morally gray and kind of like unlikable characters in them. It kind of varies like how morally gray. Wilder Girls is the one that has the most morally gray and unlikable characters, because like all of the characters are really morally gray and kind of unlikable, but like I still love them. They're just kind of, they do bad things more than in the other books, but all of them definitely have morally gray characters, both main characters and side characters, who aren't just your lawful good or even your neutral good or things like that, that they do shit wrong and they do things that they shouldn't do. So, if you like that, you're gonna like this. All of these books say a big ol' fuck you to toxic masculinity. Devouring Grey does this both by taking characters who might have toxic masculinity and like making them grow, while also like just having characters who don't have toxic masculinity. Soccer Girls and Wilder Girls don't do that as much just because there aren't as many characters to that. Soccer Girls does have a couple characters who really do that, and they also just like show like, hey, these toxic masculine characters suck. Wilder Girls doesn't really have any like male characters in general, really, but it still gives a big fuck you to it. Like, just the aura of everything, you can tell they're like, hey, this is fucked up. All of these books take place in like an isolated town, island, just somewhere that's just kind of cut off from the rest of the world. All of these books have a monster or monsters as well as human antagonists. Sawkill and Grey have like a physical monster, and Wilder Girls does have like physical monsters, but it's more about like discovering about the toxin about human antagonists than it is about a physical monster, if that makes sense. But all of them have physical monsters to fight and people to fight. Some attributes of the books don't span across all 3 books, they only span across 2 books. And in this case, it's always just Soccer Girls with one of the other books, because between the 3 of them, Sawkill is like kind of the combining factor of all of them, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the connector between Devouring Grey and Wilder Girls, because Devouring Grey and Wilder Girls on their own are a little more different. So, with Sawkill Girls and Wilder Girls, first of all, those titles, ooh, we love that. This one is mostly just that like both of them are on a physical island, and all of the main characters are girls, have very, very few male characters at all. Soccer Girls has a few more male characters, but basically all the male characters are side characters, or we don't like them. Whereas Wilder Girls, we literally have like 1 or 2 male characters that have names show up in the whole book. So there's that. Soccer Girl and Devouring Grey. Yeah. Both of these have a physical monster to fight, like one single monster that's like killing people that you have to go fight, that lives in the woods. They both have someone who has lost a sister and is grieving that. They both have one of their main characters be very angry at another main character or hate them because of something they did or that they think they did. This would be Zoe from Sawkill Girls at Val and Harper from Devouring Grey at Justin. These 2 have more like fantastical elements to them. Like the monster is more rooted in like fantasy versus Wilder Girls, which kind of roots it a little more in science. And these 2 books also have a like really strong history of the place we're at and the monster more so than Wilder Girls. Okay, character crossovers. All of these books have characters that like fill similar roles and have similar like personalities or similar things that have happened to them or stuff like that, and I just find it really cool, so we're going to talk about it. First off, we have, it's kind of a 3-way, that it's Zoe, Violet, and Harper. Zoe, I think, especially connects to the other 2, but all 3 of them, I think, are very similar characters. All 3 of these girls have dealt with a lot of grief. With Zoe and Violet, it's like grief of losing a person, whereas Harper is grieving like losing friendships and losing her arm. But all of them are dealing with like grief. They all don't take any shit. They're all really aggressively loyal to the friends that they make, and all of them at the beginning of their books did not like one of the other main characters because of something they did. So with Zoe didn't like Val at first because she suspected that Val had something to do with all the disappearances, including that of her best friend. Harper was angry at Justin because Justin abandoned her after she failed her ritual, and Zoe hated Justin and the Jonathan Hawthorns after Harper told her what happened with her ritual and how she got abandoned. The next one is Marion and Hetty. Marion's from Sawkill Girls and Hetty's from Wilder Girls. Both of these people are just really kind of lonely, longing people. Like, they just want to be loved, and I just want to protect them. Both of them have a really strong sense of responsibility to other people. Marion has a very deep responsibility to her family, And also to her friends, but like especially to her family with like family loss, that she feels like she's in charge of keeping everyone together. Whereas Hetty feels a really, really strong need to protect her friends, especially by it. That's a lot of her character arc, is just kind of the need to protect her friends and to protect by it. And both of them have a really strong sense of guilt for things they've done, for things that they weren't able to do or prevent. My babies. Next, we have Justin and Val. Justin's from Devouring Grey, Val's from Sawkill Girls. Both of these people are very popular. They're well liked within the community. Their families were one of the founders of the community. They're like a well-respected and kind of feared family. Both of their moms, kind of terrifying, different levels, but like their moms are kind of scary and very intimidating. Both of them are forced to hide secrets by their parents, and both of them also have some guilt about what they've done or what they can't do. Secrets they're having to keep, things like that, how they've hurt maybe other people that they care about, lots of stuff like that. Finally, we have Reese and Isaac. Reese from Wilder Girls, Isaac from Devouring Grey. This is the only one of the character comparisons that doesn't include Sawkill Girls, which just kind of proves my point again that Sokka is like the connecting factor to tie all these together really closely. But Reese and Isaac. Okay, people are scared of both of these characters in the books. Reese, it's because of her scary hand. Scary. With Isaac, it's because his family is just generally feared because their powers are kind of freaky, like they could kill people with their powers. Also because his ritual, when it happened, things went wrong and all of his family skipped town, so everyone's scared of him. Both of them are quietly but fiercely devoted to their person whom they love, and I mean like love. They both gay. They both big old gays. I don't know Reese's exact sexuality, but like Reese is gay. Reese is a good gay, and I know that Isaac is bi. That is very canon, mentioned multiple times throughout the plot, so we love that. Both of them are very angry and kind of temperamental people, but they're also very kind of lonely and very sad. And they've both lost family, and they're both just kind of like closed off with most people because of a lot of what they've been through and just how they are as people. Okay, that's it. That was all. I don't really know what this video was, but like, don't at me. Just remember, we're accepting it. Remember, we're accepting this video. We're loving and supporting this video. Also, I'm going to do an official review of Wilder Girls pretty soon, so you can look out for that. I'll have like a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section, so even if you haven't read it yet, you can look at the non-spoiler section. I'm excited and nervous to do my first review. I'm worried I'm just gonna ramble, but like, brand. As is kind of the point of this video, please go check out all these books and read all of them. Please go revel in all that good, queer, feminist, horror content. Devouring Grey and Soccer Girls are both already out. You can go purchase them. Soccer Girls has been out for a while, and Devouring Grey just came out this month. Wilder Girls does not come out until July, so pre-order it. Comment whatever you want. Comment on my outfit. Comment on my flags and the fact that it works so well because there are bi characters and there are ace characters in these books. So like, ooh. Comment if you've read any of these books, if you like them, if you're excited for these books, if you read a lot of horror or queer feminist horror or anything similar to this. I know I never had really read this stuff before these 3 books, which is why they especially feel like such a holy trinity for me. If you have any other book recommendations that fit this kind of idea, let me know. I would love to go read them. And yeah, stay spooky, everybody. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.